Hi, let's look at what we consider to be the 13 added values of mediation. Let's start with something we can all do with having more of. Time. Mediation can, and should be, a lot quicker than litigation and arbitration. According to statistics published by the Ministry of Justice in 2021, the median time taken for civil cases to reach trial in the county court, which deals with lower value claims, was 8 months. According to a report published by the London School of Economics in 2018, the median time from the issue of proceedings to trial in the High Court's Commercial Court was just over 1 year. That's just to issue, not to complete. Mediation is far more time effective than other forms of dispute resolution. If you ask today when we can mediate, we can come back to you with a number of dates in the next week or two. Not only does that mean that a date can be set quickly, but with more than 90% of cases settling on the day of the mediation or shortly afterwards, the whole dispute can be resolved far more quickly than at litigation, adjudication, or arbitration. If it takes less time to set up and run a mediation, then it will ultimately cost less. Parties may still have representation from legal advisors, but their length of input, especially if the case settles, is likely to be much less, meaning huge savings on legal fees. Parties also save on operational and opportunity costs, because instead of a lengthy trial, they mediate in 1 day. When you use mediation, it is in private. This means you can protect your brand, protect your IP, and protect your trade secrets. There will be no reporting of your case in local, national, or international press outlets. There will be no risk of giving away sensitive and valuable data in an open environment, and you are lessening the risk of somebody saying something in cross-examination that they would regret later. Now let's consider the two big ones, confidentiality and without prejudice. That mediation is confidential is hugely significant. Everything said or done at mediation is confidential and cannot be shared outside of those parties who have signed the mediation agreement. This includes the mediator and possibly the mediation service provider who has set the mediation up. This creates an environment in which everyone can say and do whatever they want, within reason, and negotiate in safety. Without prejudice extends to any offers that have been made, whether accepted or rejected, counter-offers, concessions, ideas for future projects and work, inventions, innovations. None of this can be repeated at court if the case doesn't settle. If it was generated as part of the mediation and raised at court, then it will be disregarded by the court. Mediation addresses power imbalances between the parties. It is not unusual to mediate cases where one party is a large national or international company, and the other is a small business or sole trader. The mediation process manages the power imbalance, not least by allowing parties the opportunity to have private sessions with the mediator, without the other side being present. A well-trained mediator can easily spot any imbalances in power and help by managing the process effectively. Next up is cash flow. Mediation can help two businesses in dispute to survive where cash flow is an issue. By mediating, an agreed payment plan can be put in place. This means that one party makes sure that it gets paid what it is owed, whilst the other makes sure that any payments it is due to make can be met without putting it under additional financial risk. During the process of mediation, the parties have the opportunity to acquire valuable insights and understanding about their own business operations. These insights can then be effectively put to use in order to improve their practices and, more importantly, to avoid the repetition of any issues or conflicts that have the potential to escalate into disputes. By taking part in mediation, these parties are able to gain a deeper understanding of their business dynamics, and make the necessary adjustments to ensure smoother operations and more harmonious relationships in the future. Mediation can repair and rebuild important business and personal relationships. One of the most satisfying outcomes we see as mediators is where we see two businesses, which rely on each other, who have fallen out but mediation has allowed them to repair the relationship. Sometimes it goes further. Out of a repaired relationship comes additional work, more contracts, and innovation. Gregory Hunt says this is his favorite value of mediation. He likes nothing more than to have mediated cases where relationships are mended, the dispute is resolved and more business is generated from it. He says that feels like a fantastic day's work and added value to the parties. Mediated solutions have a tendency to display greater innovation compared to decisions derived from litigation or arbitration. In our experience as mediators, we have observed disputes being effectively resolved through various means. These include the transfer of properties, the creation of new businesses, one party offering a tool or resource to the other, and even the merging of conflicting parties. None of these aforementioned examples would have been viable options within a court setting, as judges are compelled to base their decisions solely on legal evidence presented before them. Mediation is the party's final chance to exert control on the outcome before handing over the dispute to a third-party decision maker. More and more we find this is the key to settlement, the moment that a party realizes that if they do not do it today then they are going to lose control, and someone else is going to decide what they are going to do, whether they like it or not. It's also where you start to lose control of costs. To unleash your worries and concerns to an independent third party, with the comfort of knowing it is confidential and without prejudice, makes a huge difference to parties in dispute. People often underestimate the value of being able to unload their experience on a mediator. It is vital, and it doesn't matter if you are chief exec of a huge business or a sole trader, having the opportunity to speak freely to someone who isn't going to judge you is of significant value and is often the first step to resolution. At the moment, mediation is voluntary. It is voluntary to take part and it is voluntary to stay and continue to participate once it has begun. This could all change soon with plans to introduce compulsory mediation for claims under £10,000. We have not yet made our mind up completely about whether removing the voluntary nature of mediation and making it compulsory is going to benefit mediation and the parties or set it back. So there are our 13 added values of mediation. Can you think of any more?